Prepare for another chill review. Hello everyone, T-Man978 bringing you Transformers Generations Deluxe Class Scoop with Hole Punch and Caliburst. You forgot their names already, didn't you? I don't blame you. Anyway, Scoop was one of my favorite figures of last year that everybody left on a shelf to rot for some reason. Me personally, I think he's very cool and dynamic. I mean, he's very, very posable. I love the things he can do, and I haven't even put the guns in his hands yet. He looks very different from his original G1 toy, but he fits in with the G1 cartoon aesthetic to me, where he looks like a generic robot that doesn't really look like it can transform, but it actually can. For a close-up on some of his detail, you can see the vents on his chest and the grill on his gut, but of course that doesn't turn into any type of grill. His Autobot logo, and he can actually open this panel here to reveal some inner robot details, but they aren't painted, so it's not too exciting once you do that. They did paint over here, but he's mostly just orange and yellow plastic. His face has some gray paint with blue light piping that's not really lit. He can look up because his head is on the ball joint, but he can only look up like that much. Head rotates, and that's what the back of his head looks like. Here's more of a close-up on that arm and these tires right here. His back. I mean, he has a nice humanoid robot silhouette. Like, I don't even mind this backpack because it almost looks, the way his back is shaped, his spine is shaped, it almost looks like he's not wearing like kibble. It looks like an actual backpack. They painted some details right there on his feet, more vents on the feet and his knees or shins right there. That's good. Articulation. Waist rotates 360, hips go out that much on the ball joint and kick forward. The knees actually bend a little bit. I guess that's 90 degrees, but if you use this joint, he has double jointed knees, and this toe can go up like that. I mean, it doesn't look like it, but these feet lend for some poses, and he has good stability. The shoulders are on this hinge right here that can lift up, plus a little ball joint right here, which is really nice, that can swivel out that way. Bicep swivel, an elbow that bends 90 degrees, and the wrist just hinge in. So I wish for a Target Master especially that he had rotating wrists, but what they gave us here is good. Now for his Target Masters, which aren't really called Target Masters on the packaging, which I tried desperately to find for this review, but I couldn't. He came with a comic book, but I don't think he was actually in the comic book, but whatever. These guys are very interesting. They fit the same silhouette and they transform the same. And they have the same molding on the bottom of their feet right there, which is really cool. I guess there's like some rocket boots or something like that. But they have completely different molded parts. Like the whole body right here, the legs, the chest, the arms, the belt, and both arms are completely different. Even the face is different. But they transform exactly the same. This little piece in between their legs is the same part. For anybody who doesn't like that look, you can just pop it off very easy. So this is what he looks like without that there. Caliburst. And here's Hole Punch. Their barrels are actually different too. But to transform them, you need to replace those trigger plugs in between their legs. And I didn't mention that their arms are actually on the ball joint and can like wiggle back and forward a little bit. And of course rotate 360. No other articulation at all. But anyway, transformation is fairly simple. And for anyone who didn't know, on a cartoon, and I don't know how it was on the comic or in Japan, I think they were actually separate robots, but in the cartoon, they were aliens called Nebulons that fit inside of an exosuit. Anywho, lift this up, Bring the arms back, or actually bring this trigger around first, which still pops off very easy. Bring the arms back, and boom. He's a double barrel blaster. And he looks good as long as you don't look at him like this, and now he's just a man with arms up here instead of on the side. But let's do calibers. Lift that up, bring the trigger around, bring the arms back. And now he is I guess a tri-barrel blaster. Let's see. Yeah, that's only 2 barrels, but this guy has one main blaster, but the 2 in the front. And one cool thing you can do if you wanted to, you can open these arms up, take the peg right here, plug it into this guy's buttocks area. Let me just say it. And now you have a bigger blaster. Or you could do the opposite. Shut this back up. Open this guy's arms and plug him here for a blaster that looks like that, but it looks kind of silly to me. Here's what they look like in Scoop's hands, and I love about that can double wield. That's always awesome to me. If you wanted to, you could plug them into here, which doesn't really look all that good. And I believe you can plug them in here, which also doesn't look good, but there's an option. These options are always good. Pow, 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 shoot, shoot, shoot. Here's how they scale just standing next to each other. And here they are next to a Combiner Wars Deluxe. So, as you can see, Scoop is a short Deluxe. Before going to transformation, I should mention that this back part is a little bit loose, and that moves around. I mean, it stays in a place decently, but it might move around while you're posing them, and that could be aggravating. And something I forgot to show off is Scoop with one of his super weapon variations. I mean, maybe that looks good to you. You let me know in the comments. Anyway, pow, pow, pow. I don't care for it that much. Transformation. Push the feet up on both sides. Push the hands in. Go ahead and you can peg the legs together now. Pull this panel forward. Pull all of this back and leave it like that for now, and rotate his back out like this. Go ahead, straighten the arms up, rotate the shoulder panels into such a way where you actually move these shoulders forward while you're rotating that, because these pegs on this little chest panel groove into the shoulder slots right here. I mean, it doesn't stay secure, but it's there to do. Meanwhile, the arms, a little panel right there in his waist goes inside the arms right there to hold them into place. Now you can go ahead and take this canopy, put it over top of his head, straighten that up, leave that like that. Go ahead and rotate this dude's knees, and the legs peg into the back right there. And now you have Scoop in his weakest mode, the vehicle mode. I mean, it rolls decently. And it's a construction shovel. Closest thing I can compare it to is Scrapper right here. You can see that there is a difference. This is a Voyager class, and this is a Deluxe class. So yeah, he's significantly bigger. And now the shovel thing, I don't like it. It's the way this part is molded, and yeah, this doesn't clip in at all, which is a huge problem. And of course, visible face syndrome right there, or visible head syndrome, whatever you want to call it. The way this is molded, it wants you to bend this straight because it can be like that in transformation, but in vehicle mode it's straight. And when you bring the shovel all the way down, it wants to bend like that. Or I guess you could put it like this. Or it wants to stay like this, and then he has all that showing, and it's like no front of this truck really. And the main problem with this thing, besides this not pegging in, this pegs in poorly, so that's constantly coming apart. And yeah, this mold is, or this mode is just suffering, because this is constantly wanting to come up. Anyway, you could put the weapons on various spots. You could peg them into here. It did a way better job on the G1 figure from what I can remember, but here are your options. And basically, unless you turn them off to the side like that, they want to just stick straight up because the little cab right there gets in the way. And I believe they can peg here. Well, this is a good spot, I guess. So now he has side mounted blasters. I feel like I didn't know these were here until just now, which is weird. I knew about these right here. Which is another alright spot. But the main place people would want to put them is right there. But I guess the side is probably where they're meant to be. Either the holes on the bottom. Let's see how he rolls. No, he doesn't roll good with them right there, so I guess these holes would be the best. Anywho, I love this dude's robot mode. These little guys are cool, even though they're not posable. They kind of remind me of like Inhumanoids or something like that, or maybe even Masters of the Universe with some armor on. But they're cool, and I definitely like this guy's robot mode. He stays in robot mode, and I've played with him actually a lot since I bought him, more than a lot of my other characters that I bought last year. So I recommend him because he definitely has a fun robot mode. But you guys let me know what you think. Anyway, T-Man978. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Until next time, T-Man978. Out of here.